Welcome back to NBA Cinema. So we just saw the Boston Celtics dispose of the Mavs in five, and it wasn't a competitive finals at all, pretty much like last season. And we saw Jaylen Brown take home the Finals MVP. He and Jason Tatum. There was a little bit of question who would win it after Jason Tatum's performance tonight. But if you look at everything overall, and Jaylen Brown taking that challenge to guard Luka Doncic for the lion's share of the series, and really just take on that defensive challenge as a whole. Really kind of put his foot on their throat in the first few games, and that moment to close game 3 out, I felt like he had it sold up at that point, especially if the series didn't extend. I think had it extended and Jason Tatum got to play a couple more games, then maybe he could have swayed the voters, but he kind of sold it up after game 3. And looking at that, man, I think it's a really good thing because both of them played at a level that either one could have got Finals MVP. So shout out to the Boston Celtics for getting their championship and now having 18 most in the NBA. We're going to listen to what Paul Pierce had to say in his celebration. Skip Bayless has some harsh criticism for Luka Doncic. Let's check it out.
I'm so hyped right now. Anything's possible! Oh my mama! Oh my mama!
Yep, I did it. I picked the Dallas Mavericks to win in 7 games in the NBA Finals, and I was wrong, and I was a fool, but I did so because of Luka Doncic. I congratulated him again and again on Undisputed for getting in the lab in the offseason and improving his three-point shot. Shot 38% from three during the regular season. Shot 40% from three as he lifted that team, the Mavericks, up to the Western Conference playoffs, which were much tougher than the Eastern Conference playoffs. And then we get to this level, this stage, the finals. And Luka went colder than Belichick's heart, especially in Boston. I couldn't recognize him. He played one good half of basketball, the first half of Game 4 in Dallas. Other than that, he was 3 for his last 24 from 3 for 24. Are you kidding me? He got the demons in his head at the free throw line again after I thought he didn't improve at the free throw line. He turned it over again and again and again. They were such dumb, idiotic turnovers. Luka just stunk for most of this finals. I give Jaylen Brown a lot of credit, and he probably deserved MVP just for his defense on Luka. He attacked him tonight in Game 5 in Boston. But in the end, man, was I disappointed in Luka. His reputation took a big hit with me. Thanks, Luka. Buka.
I want to unpack a few basketball things to take note of from this series specifically. You look at Kristaps Porzingis, he was once a Mav. You look at someone like Jalen Brunson. You got some people saying they don't want to hear the Jalen Brunson Kyrie conversations again. A lot of people talk about Kyrie's most skilled ever. And you look at Kyrie when he's going, it looks really good. It's aesthetically pleasing. But you can't say he's better than Jalen Brunson, a guy who led his team to the playoffs, a depleted Knicks team. And, Jalen Brunson, any team he's been on at every level, he's always won. I don't want to stay on that too long, but that's my thought on that. Also, you look at, Porzingis, Gafford, both of them were on the Wizards last year. PJ Washington was on the Hornets. So I say that to say some of these NBA teams, when you're looking at, Paul George going to be a free agent, who's going to try to go get KD, who's going to try to get this one, that one. You need to be looking at some of these good players on bad teams, especially if you're not looking for a star. There's only but so much offense you can get, right? You saw Phoenix bring in Bradley Beal. That's not what you need. They should have built the rest of the roster out like the Celtics have. When Drew Holiday became available, the Phoenix Suns should have been going crazy, as they already saw what he did with Giannis and them with the Milwaukee Bucks and how they were able to win a championship. So when he became available, they should have been going crazy to try to get Drew Holiday. But Drew Holiday, a guy like that, you saw him scoring or getting touches right at the dunker spot, playing off of people. He becomes more valuable than someone like a Damian Lillard. Dame didn't want to go to Boston, when they were talking about potential teams for him. And nor do I think Boston would have won at all. Your game can't be just predicated on the offensive end of the floor. You got to be able to do some things on the defensive end of the floor. They have their two go-to players, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. So why would I need another player who 20 shots a game is how they impact the game? So someone like Drew Holiday was such a commodity with getting Kyrie's jersey, trying to slow him down. Kyrie didn't really have a good series. Derek White, being the glue guy he is, best shot blocking guard in the league, knocking down timely threes, hustle plays. I look at just the way the roster's built, and everyone around Sam Hauser found his stroke. You look at like Milwaukee, man. They gave up Drew Holiday thinking the grass was greener with Dame, and that's Giannis Antetokounmpo's fault. He tried to act like Drew Holiday was his man, and we cool, and act surprised when he got traded. You knew that to get Dame, Drew had to go. So don't act surprised. And now Drew done went and won a title the first year that he left you. So, shout out Drew Holiday for winning that. I spoke about that early this season. I said I don't feel like that's better for them because of the ways Drew Holiday can impact the game. He's shooting the three ball at an all-time high, and he's the type of player that can guard Kyrie Irving the best way that you possibly can, but he can also interchangeably get some possessions on Luka. They show Luka different looks. The pest Drew Holiday look, hard to post up, reaches real good with his hands. Then they showed him the Jaylen Brown look. He got the Jason Tatum look, got the Al Horford look. A lot of people was guarding him. So they kept mixing it up in a way where it was difficult for him to get into a rhythm. The other guys suffer as a result. And when we talk about Luka Doncic, a lot of players, he helps players like PJ Washington reach their maximum abilities at times. But someone who can go get it for themselves, like a Kristaps Porzingis, he could take away from that type of player from holding the ball too long. Sometimes it's just simple as giving him the ball, dumping it to him, and letting him work. So they don't have to get the late pass from you. You don't have to dribble 20 seconds off the 24-second shot clock and just throw it to them when you don't have a shot. So I look at all of these things, man, and all these factors. I'm looking at pieces. I'm looking at teams that had certain players, how Drew Holiday was out there available. People didn't see him as a commodity like they would see if someone like Paul George became a free agent. But Drew Holiday is a winning basketball player. So if you have certain elements on your team, you bring someone like that in because you can plug and play him, and he can play with several people. He could play, he's one of those players that, okay, if you need him to take 19 shots in the game, he can. But if Drew only get 5 or 6 shots in a certain game, he can still impact the game and have a better game the game he had 5 shots than he does sometimes when he might take 20. So I could go on about this, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time. Peace.